Welcome back, students. In the first two videos we have gone through the solar thermal power plants and solar thermal energy storage. Now in this video we'll go through the last part of this unit called the applications of solar thermal energy. And here we are going to discuss 5 different applications of solar thermal energy. The first one is a solar water heating, solar room heat, space heating, which we'll also call as by using a concept called Trombe wall. The third one is a solar dryer, fourth one is solar cooking, and fifth one is solar still, which is nothing but a solar desalination. Right, these 5 things we are going to see in this particular video. Now let's talk about the first thing called solar water heating system. So the solar water heating system, any industry or a hotel will require hot water. Any apartment also will require hot water. If I provide the hot water by means of a solar, we'll call it as a solar water heating system. There are 2 different types of solar water heating systems. One is a natural circulation system, which is also called thermosiphon system, and the other one is a forced circulation system. This natural circulation system will be used in the residential applications, whereas this forced circulation systems will be used in the hotel or in any industrial applications where huge amounts of hot water is required. Right, now let's straight away go into the concept called natural circulation system. You might have seen a diagram on the right hand side, right? That's a solar collector, solar water heater, which you might have seen everyone on your rooftops most of the time. So the concept is very simple. We have a heater, we have a storage tank that which stores the water at the top, and then we have a collector which is at the bottom. We have a collector, it is a solar collector which is at the bottom. Here we have an elevation between the tank and the collector, and that's why water will straight away flow from tank to the collector without using any pump. And that's why it is called a natural circulation system. Without using a pump, water will be circulated from tank to collector, and that's why we call this system as natural circulation system. Right, now let's see the working of it. Now we'll fill the cold water in the tank, and from the cold water will be passed through the collector. And whenever sunlight falls on the collector, the water will get heated up, and whenever the water gets heated up, the density of the water will decreases. That is, the weight of the water weight per unit volume of the water will decrease, and the water will easily move towards the tank, will be moved up to the tank. Right, and from the tank, from the top side of the tank, hot water is taken away to the load. And whenever the hot water is taken away to the load, the tank will be empty and cold water will be supplied from the bottom of the tank. And again the same process will take place. That is, that cold water will pass through the collector, and the collector will make use of the solar energy for converting the cold water into hot water, and hot water will again send it to the top of a tank, and from the top of a tank we'll take the hot water and we'll use it for our applications. It is what is called a natural circulation system. And we'll also provide an auxiliary heater. During the rainy days or the winter days, if sufficient solar energy is not available, the system should not be kept idle, and for that reason we'll also use an auxiliary heating system here for use during the rainy seasons or during the cold climates when sunlight is not available. And this system consists of 2 main equipments. What are those? Solar liquid flat plate collector, and the other one is a storage tank. The storage tank we already know about it, and the main important thing is a liquid flat plate collector. And this liquid flat plate collector will be used for applications where temperatures will be in the range where we require temperatures in the range between 40 and 100 degrees centigrade. So how this flat plate collector works, you can see the diagrams over there. Initially we'll be having a black surface. We'll be having a black surface which is called an absorber surface, which is coated with a black material, because black body will absorb the solar radiation. Above this black surface, black metal absorber surface, we'll keep the pipes. We'll keep the pipes, and in the pipes we have the water, and on top of the pipes we'll keep the glass covers. And whenever sunlight falls on the glass covers will are transparent to the sunlight, and the sunlight will be passing through those glass covers, and it will be absorbed by the black surface. And once the black surface got heated up, that heat will be transferred to the metal tubes which consist of water, and metal tubes will be heated up, and once the metal tubes got heated up, the water inside the metal tubes also will be heated up. It is how the water will be heated in a flat plate collector, and the complete metal surface, the complete solar flat plate collector is enclosed by an insulating material called a thermal insulating material to avoid the leakage of the heat. And this flat plate collector will take the beam as well as the diffused radiations which is falling on it for heating the water. Normally liquid is the liquid which is used inside these tubes is generally water, but oil also can be used for industrial applications. It is about the flat plate collector. And then the second thing is a forced circulation system. In a natural circle, the drawback of the thermosiphon system or the natural circulation system is that the storage vessel needs to be located higher than the collector. That is, the storage vessel have to be located at the top and collector have to be located at the bottom. It is a drawback of it. So if I have a roof space completely available for me, I wanted to keep both collector and the storage tank at the same level. Then in that case, water will never automatically or naturally circulate, because both collector and tank will be at the same level. Water will never travel from storage tank to the collector. So for that purpose, I use a pump for pumping the water from storage tank to collector. And that's why, because I am using a pump to forcefully circulate the water, this system is called forced circulation system. Again, the concept is same. Here we'll pass the water by means of a pump from storage tank into the collector. Here both collector and storage tank will be kept at the same height on the rooftop itself. Now whenever the sunlight falls on the collector, the pumped water from the storage tank will get heated up, and that hot water will be passed into the storage tank at the top. Now from the top of the storage tank, the hot water will be utilized to the load, and once the tank is filled, tank is emptied, then we'll pass the cold water supply from the bottom of the tank. Right, it is the same. Here we use an automatic control system for on and off the pump. We cannot go manually check every time when to on and when to off a pump. We'll use an automatic control system to on off the pump. How it will be utilized? There will be a microcontroller which is utilized, which will be employed in this system, and that controller will sense two different temperatures. The first temperature is the collector outlet temperature, and the other one is the tank bottom temperature. These two temperatures the controller will sense by means of the thermocouple, and after sensing these two temperature, it will do the subtraction of these two temperatures, and if it finds that the temperature difference between these two temperatures is more than 10 degrees centigrade, which means that the water inside the tank the water inside the tank is decreasing its heat. That is, the hot water is becoming cold inside a tank after some time. So now again that water will be pumped into the collector by oning the pump. Then it will on the pump, and the water will be pumped into the collector, and the collector will heat the water, and the water will be again sent into the tank. Now in this process again it will keep on checking the temperature difference. If the up to when this pump will be on, again it will check the temperature difference. If the temperature difference between them is around 3 to 5 degrees, which is nothing but both are at the same temperature, so there is no further heating, then automatically the controller will send a signal to the pump to stop, and it will stop. It is how the control system will work. In this case also we will provide an auxiliary heater for rainy or summer or rainy or colder climates. And next application is solar space heating. As I already told you while we are discussing the phase change material, in northern country, in western countries, or even in India, in north and northeast countries, we require space heating. And the space heating can be provided by means of two methods. One is a passive method, other one is an active method. Here we are discussing only the passive method, and passive method is nothing but a Trombe wall. Solar passive space heating system is nothing but a Trombe wall. So what is this Trombe wall? We will choose a south facing window. We have a house and we have a south facing window, and we have a south facing wall, and to that wall we will make two vents, one at the top and other one at the bottom. We will make two vents. for the air to circulate. And we'll place and after giving some space, we'll place a solar glass window. We'll place a glass window, that is a glazing material. So there is a space between this glass window and the solid wall, which consists of two vents, a top and bottom. And in between this solid wall and the glass window, there is air. There is air. Now the concept is, whenever sunlight falls on the glass window, the air which is in between the solid wall and the glass window will be heated up, and that heated air will move upwards. As we know, whenever the air gets heated, its density decreases and it will move upwards, and the air which is moving upwards will move into the room by means of a top vent. You can see on the right side left side diagram, the air which is heated, the red arrow mark shows inside between that glass window and the solid wall. That air which is heated up will move upwards, and by means of that vent which is available at the top of the solid wall, the hot air will enter into the room and get circulated inside the room, and thereby the cooling inside the cool air inside the room will be suppressed downwards, will be forced downwards, and the hot air will be circulated throughout the entire room, and this makes the cool air inside the room to go downwards because of more density. And this cool air which is coming downwards will see a lower vent, and it will pass through that lower vent. And once the air passes through that lower vent, again the sunlight falls on the glass window, will heat that cooling air, and again that cooling air will become hot, and hot air will be again transferred into the room. In this is how the room temperature will be maintained by means of a Trombe valve, which is called a solar passive space heating application. The third one is a solar dryer. This solar dryer will be used to remove the moisture content in the food materials or the food crops. So we'll make a solar dryer chambers, and in these chambers we'll keep the fresh fruits or fresh vegetables or fresh any farm produce. Then we'll take a solar air collector and we'll pass the air through the solar air collector, and whenever this sunlight is falling on the collector, that air which is passing through the solar collector will get heated up. That heated air will be passed into the drying chambers where the vegetables or fruits are kept. Now this hot air will remove the moisture or humidity from the crops, and thereby the crops will be dried out. The advantage of this system is that whenever you make the same thing, you can be performed by keeping the vegetables or fruits directly under the sun. When you keep them under the sun, the glazing of the vegetables and fruits will be spoiled, and that cannot be done. So for that purpose, we'll use air dryers. Instead of direct sunlight, we'll use the hot air to dry the crops, and thereby the quality of the food will be restored. It is the third application, solar dryer. The fourth application is a solar cooker. How this solar cooker works? This solar cooker consists of a rectangular box, a wooden box which is coated with black color material inside the box. So it has a glass covering on top of it, as well as it has 2 or 3 reflectors which are placed on all the sides of the wooden box, so that to collect the extra solar energy and make it reflect onto the solar cooker. Now what happens when we'll keep the pots inside the solar cooker? We'll take a food material and we'll keep the rice, we'll keep it in a vessel and we'll keep it inside the solar cooker, and we'll close the lid on top side of it. And whenever sunlight falls on it, the sunlight straight away falls on the lid, the direct radiation will fall on it, and by using the reflectors we can capture the diffuse energy, and both this direct and diffuse energy will capture the solar energy and make it pass into the solar dryer, solar cooker. So, and once the sunlight falls onto that glass layer, it will be transparent to the solar light and it will be entering into the box, wooden box, and the wooden box is coated with black color material, and it will absorb the heat energy, and that heat will be transferred to the cooking pots, and cooking pots also coated with black color, and thereby they'll also getting heated up, and inside it we have the rice or anything which will get cooked. It is how the solar cooker works out. So by using the box type solar collector, we can get around 150 degrees centigrade of heat. It is about the fourth application. Last application is a solar still. What is a solar still? A solar still is a device which is used for performing the water desalination. Desalination means converting the salt water into fresh water, and if that is performed by means of a solar energy, it is called a solar desalination, or the device is called a solar still. We will take a basin. We will take a rectangular shaped basin made of concrete, and we will keep the glass covers on top of it, and these glass covers performs two tasks. The first one is it will pass the solar energy into the chamber, and the other one is it will be used for condensing the vapor into liquid. We'll discuss about that in detail. So we'll place the salt water inside this solar still. Let's take let's keep this and let's talk about an example. Let's take a salt water, and let's take a cup of fresh water and pour it in a vessel, and let's add 1 spoon of salt in it, mix it, and keep it under the stove. Now when the stove is heating, when the salt water is heating, what happens? The water will be evaporates after some time. So when you observe it, all the fresh water will evaporate, and inside the vessel you will see the salt. So the salt will not evaporate upwards. It will, because it's a more dense material, it will be stayed inside only. Only the water, the fresh water will be moved in the form of a vapor to upside. It is the first concept. And the second example is, take a water in a vessel and heat it. You will get the vapors. Now when you keep a lid on top of it, what happens? When you see the lid after some time, water droplets will be formed on the back side of the plate. What is the meaning of it? Condensation is happening, which means the vapor is going and hitting the plate, and because of that, the temperature of the vapor is decreasing, and it will be again converting into liquid, right? So that liquid is a pure liquid. Now these two concepts we'll use in this solar still. The first concept is we'll keep the salt water or a brackish water in the solar still, and whenever sunlight falls on it, this brackish water will be evaporated, and that evaporated water will move upwards. When it move upwards, it will leave behind all the salt content in it, and once the fresh vapor move upwards, it will be hit, and when the vapor comes in contact with that glass frame again, the temperature of the vapor decreases, and the vapor starts converting into liquid, and this liquid is a fresh water liquid. Fresh water. This fresh water will be collected at the distillate or condensate troughs, which are arranged at both sides of the solar glass frame. This is how the cold water will be collected. So the sun provides the energy to evaporate the saline water, and water vapor formed from the evaporation process then condenses on a clear glass covering before it gets collected as a fresh water in the condensate trough. The clear glass or plastic covering which is placed at the top of this concrete basin is used to transmit the solar radiation, and also allows the water vapor to condense on its interior surface before it is collected as a fresh water in the condensate troughs. It is about the fifth application. So we have gone through the 5 applications of solar energy: solar water heating system, solar space heating system, solar dryer, solar cooker, and solar still. With this we have completed the third unit, which consists of 3 different parts. The first video we have gone through the solar thermal power plants. In the second video we have gone through the solar thermal energy storage technologies, and the third video we have gone through the applications of solar energy.